With more allegations expected to surface against WWE and more, this is Wrestling Rambles. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Mentioning the portrayal of Uncle Howdy by Bo Dallas, Ringside News wrote that Bo Dallas has opened up about his experience portraying Uncle Howdy, a character that emerged alongside Bray Wyatt's WWE return in 2022. Uncle Howdy, who haunted Wyatt as a mysterious and eerie figure, would later be confirmed to be portrayed by Dallas, Wyatt's real-life brother. After Bray Wyatt's tragic passing in 2023, Dallas has carried on the role as part of the Wyatt 6 faction, keeping the spirit of his brother's vision alive. In a conversation with Headlock, Dallas reflected on the deeply personal nature of playing Uncle Howdy and how it aligns with the interest he shared with Wyatt. "Oh, for sure," Dallas said. When asked if this role was the most creatively fulfilling for him, he emphasized that both he and Bray were always drawn to the strange, eerie, and unsettling elements of storytelling, something he was thrilled to finally explore with Uncle Howdy. "I never got the opportunity to do that. We kind of both went down different lanes, and now I got this chance. I always saw what Wyndham was doing, and that's the stuff that both of us like, but I was not in that. I didn't have the opportunity to do that. Now that I do, like I said, I feel like a little kid playing, and I still feel like I have my brother with me, and it's unbelievable." Dallas's portrayal of Uncle Howdy has not only allowed him to step into a unique creative role, but has also served as a poignant tribute to his brother, ensuring Bray Wyatt's creative vision continues to resonate with WWE fans. Sending a message to a man with cerebral palsy, The Rock posted this clip to X.
Hey, this is a very, very special message to two very special human beings. DJ here, also known as Dwayne Johnson, also known as The Rock, La Roca in Spanish. What's up, guys? I just wanted to check in. Johnny, I heard that you were a big fan of mine, and dude, I so appreciate that. I'm honored. I have seen your story. I have been inspired by your story, you and your dad. Johnny, I want to say that I am so proud of many things, but proud comes to mind first of your strength, your resilience, your heart. In Polynesian language, we have a word called mana. And when you guys go to Hawaii for Iron Man, which I think you're probably already there, it means strength and power and spirit. And Johnny, that's what you have, and that's what you share with the world. I'm so grateful that you're a fan of mine. Now I'm your biggest fan. Have an amazing Iron Man. Can't wait to see the results. Jeff, as a father, can't say much. I'm gonna get emotional. I love and admire you. That is a true example of being what a great father is all about. Hi, Becky, your mom, your wife, and say hello to your two sisters and all your family. I gotta go back to work. I'm filming live action Moana right now, actually, so it's kind of cool that it's all connected in our Polynesian spirit. Anyway, I love you guys. Have a great Iron Man. You are an inspiration to me and the world, and I can't wait to see you guys. Okay. See you guys.
You know, as somebody that see Hawaiian go through means so much to him, and we're gonna give it our best to respect it too and come home a champion just like he is.
For Cody Rhodes' thoughts on NXT, Ringside News wrote that Cody Rhodes recently shared his thoughts on the evolution of WWE NXT, highlighting how the brand has transitioned far beyond its original status as WWE's developmental territory. Speaking in an interview with 3 News in Las Vegas, Rhodes praised NXT's current direction under the leadership of Matt Bloom and Shawn Michaels, emphasizing the talent and level of competition now emerging from the brand. NXT, particularly with Baldo, Matt Bloom and Shawn Michaels. As a talent and current main roster, NXT can be kind of intimidating. It's not really a developmental anymore, Rhodes stated. Rhodes added that NXT has become a grooming ground for future superstars, with performers being trained by none other than the legendary Shawn Michaels. These monsters have been trained by Shawn Michaels, Cody continued, indicating that NXT athletes are fully prepared to make an impact when they reach the main roster. Cody also commented on NXT's recent move to the CW network, describing it as blown away by the success of their run on the network, calling the content really special stuff. This transition to a major platform further solidifies that NXT has outgrown its developmental tag and is now a central brand for WWE's future. As the Usos would reunite on Smackdown during the main event, Jimmy Uso said this about being back with his brother Jey, writing, "Home again, God is great." Explaining why Christian Cage and Jeff Jarrett can use their TNA themes in AEW, former president of the company Scott D'Amore told Fightful, they are two unique situations. The Christian one, they actually debuted Christian with a knockoff of our knockoff, if you want to call it that. After the first night of using it, I was actually there in Jacksonville at the after show with Tony Khan. He said, "What did you think? It's great. Why didn't you just ask? We'd let you use the theme. Literally, I was sitting at the table when I got a request in my email for it. We facilitated that one." The Jeff Jarrett one was unique in the sense that that's been Jeff's music really since he left WCW. He used it in TNA. Jeff, when he was debuted there, reached out to me. We chatted a little bit. I reached out to Ed Nordholm. We had a conversation. Jeff has a long storied history with Impact TNA Wrestling. Ed and I were like, what's the downside to letting him use this theme? We're not using that theme for somebody. You're not assigning that theme to somebody else. It was a nice way to say Jeff had his departure from the company. Thankfully, he's in a great and amazing spot now, but it was tough times. What a great way to say, God bless, go kick ass with what you're doing now. Use the theme. It's the same as when EC3 was leaving here early on in my tenure. Ed and I chatted about it. Why not let him take the EC3 moniker with him? It's not Mexico. We're not assigned a new wrestler to play the character EC3. Our thought process was, one, there is no downside to it. Maybe there's an upside. If they make a wrestler, maybe it's EC3 or otherwise. If they make Sean Ross Sapp, we need to change his name because Maple Leaf Pro or Impact owns it. The talent can show up and say, here are the rights to Sean Ross Sapp. You go there and become a massive star. Our product becomes more valuable. There is no downside to it, and there is a potential upside, as well as the goodwill of getting the investment from talent and saying, I'm going to invest in building this name and this brand because I'm going to be able to carry it on with me. Jeff and Christian are unique because both are such important characters in TNA history. Jeff is the founder, that's never changing. Somebody who has been instrumental in my career and somebody I consider a mentor and a friend. Christian is a guy I broke in with and is the guy I'll always say in history when you look at TNA, the first person ever say, I'm leaving WWE of my own merit to go to TNA. It's Christian. Without him, you don't have the cascade of what TNA was able to build and grow to. Touching on WWE previously not allowing talent to use the term wrestler in the company, WWE Hall of Famer Rob Van Dam noted on his One of a Kind podcast, everybody knows that when I was in WWE, Vince McMahon had long decided that we were sports entertainment, right? We weren't allowed to call ourselves wrestlers. Everybody in 2001, 2002, through at least most of, if that ever changed, then I don't even know when it was. If we did a promo and said, hey, that's right, one of your favorite wrestlers is coming to your town, they go, cut, one of your favorite superstars. Oh, okay, and that was the rule. And maybe that's changed. The rules and policies always change, and you know, it has to. They're always evolving and adapting as the times change. How many times have I said in the last week that the world changes so much and so fast? Like, we were talking about the future and I was saying, even what I do, if I'm working 10 years from now, I could be involved in something that's not even here right now. Something we we couldn't even dream of. I go back to 2001 when we picked up our first cell phones. You know, they weren't very smart back then and had the cord. And anyway, the flip up, but we could never have imagined that, yeah, take a picture and send it to Japan, he'll get it instantly. Like what you couldn't imagine before it happened. Going over a star that could be set to return to AEW, Ringside News wrote that AEW's Bandito looks ready to make his long-awaited in-ring return after spending months sidelined due to a wrist injury. The high-flying luchador initially suffered the injury in June of 2023 during a match against Konosuke Takeshita on an episode of Rampage. While the injury diagnosis initially seemed straightforward, a triangular fibrocartilage complex (TFCC) tear, his recovery took longer than expected due to complications. Bandito underwent surgery shortly after receiving a second medical opinion, but setbacks followed, requiring an additional surgery. Originally, AEW hoped for him to return by April 2024, but persistent healing issues extended his recovery even further. An update in August noted that Bandito was still not clear to compete, but was progressing well. Now, fans finally have good news. Ibu of WrestlePierce reported that Bandito was backstage at this week's AEW Dynamite and indicated that he's ready to return to action. If confirmed, this will inject much needed excitement into AEW's roster, as Bandito's high energy performances were a fan favorite before his injury. Bandito's pending return couldn't come at a better time as AEW prepares for several major events where his dynamic in-ring style will undoubtedly make an impact. Talking about a segment on AEW Dynamite last week where Kyle Fletcher had his head buzzed to differentiate himself from his former friend Will Ospreay, Bully Ray reacted to this on Busted Open Radio, saying, "I wish he would have finished the job or Kanellis would have finished the job. I would have loved that before and after moment in the ring. He's trying to convince himself, he's trying to convince everybody else that he is nothing like Will Ospreay. Wants to separate himself as much as possible, and I hope they hate you for you and your words and actions moving forward, and not necessarily the residual heat that you're getting off of Don Callis." Mentioning the future of programming for All Elite Wrestling in the United Kingdom, Ringside News wrote that AEW has grown tremendously over the past 5 years, and Tony Khan is only trying to ensure that his company has a global presence slowly but steadily. In light of his expansion plans, there is now speculation of AEW programming in the UK. AEW continues to prove its staying power in the wrestling industry, and the company's latest move is a game changer. After months of speculation, AEW has officially inked a multi-year media rights deal with Warner Bros. Discovery valued at a whopping $555 million over 3 years. AEW's new contract with Warner Bros. Discovery will bring substantial revenue over the next few years, with $180 million expected in 2025, $185 million in 2026, and $190 million in 2027. Warner Bros. Discovery also has the option to extend the partnership into 2028, potentially at an even higher rate, further strengthening AEW's financial footing and solidifying its network presence. In the UK, AEW has found its television home on ITV. The network has been key in bringing AEW content to British fans since day one, and fans wondered if AEW would continue to work with ITV. According to Dave Meltzer on the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Tony Khan remains highly loyal to ITV, as it was the second network to support AEW after TNT, despite the fact that TNT Sports will soon lose WWE and could be interested in picking up AEW for a regular live time slot instead of the delayed late night slots AEW currently has with ITV. Meltzer believes AEW is likely to stay with ITV. Khan views ITV's support as crucial to the success of AEW's Wembley events and values the positive relationship he's built with the network, which started even before AEW AEW's launch. It is to be noted that starting in January 2025, AEW will stream live on Max for US subscribers, which is a major step in growing the company's audience and impact. Nonetheless, only time will tell whether ITV and AEW will continue their partnership, as it has served both parties well so far. Taking to Instagram, WWE's Carmella posted this video about those that think her child looks like her husband, WWE commentator Corey Graves.
So cute! Oh my gosh, your baby is so cute. He's the cutest baby I've ever seen. That is the most handsome face. He is so adorable. Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed. He's so cute. He looks just like your husband.
Praising her friend and NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez, Cora Jade told the Masked Man show, "It sucks being out for that long and watching. It seems like everyone is kind of just passing you by. If it was going to anybody, I'm so glad it was her. She's incredible. She can wrestle incredibly. She can speak incredibly. She looks great. She's a star through and through. She's the best wrestler in the world right now." For an update on the Ring Boy scandal lawsuit that WWE is facing, Ringside News wrote that WWE and Vince McMahon are at the center of new legal trouble following the filing of a lawsuit on October 23rd. The lawsuit names McMahon, Linda McMahon, WWE, and TKO Group Holdings Incorporated, alleging negligence in their handling of underage boys by former WWE employee Mel Phillips, known as the Ring Boy Scandal. McMahon's attorney Jessica Rosenberg has responded firmly, dismissing the claims as baseless. She told Brandon Thurston more than 30 years ago the columnist Phil Mushnick tried to make headlines with these same false claims. Those allegations were never proven and ultimately became the subject of a defamation lawsuit against Mr. Mushnick. The negligence claims against Mr. McMahon that were asserted today rely on the same absurd, defamatory, and utterly meritless statements by Mr. Mushnick. We will vigorously defend Mr. McMahon and are confident the court will find that these claims are untrue and unfounded. However, Greg Gutzler, attorney for the plaintiffs, has now issued a detailed rebuttal via Post Wrestling. Gutzler emphasized that the lawsuit is based on multiple pieces of evidence that go far beyond Mushnick's reporting. He stated, "If you read the 81-page complaint, you are going to see multiple facts, myriad facts, dozens of facts that have nothing to do with Phil Mushnick. We had the fact that we had Mel Phillips shuttling young boys in plain sight in front of WWE executives and wrestlers from state to state. You have him in plain sight staying in hotel rooms with young boys. You have in plain sight Mel Phillips engaging foot fetishes in the ring in front of people, in the locker room in front of wrestlers, and he was even provided his private dressing room in certain areas." Gutzler further pointed to FBI findings in the investigation. "You have the FBI videotape where the FBI said, the behavioral science unit said, this is consistent with pedophilia and foot fetishes." He also noted that Vince McMahon was allegedly aware of Phillips's behavior and initially fired him, but later brought him back under the condition that Phillips steer clear of the kids. Gutzler added, "McMahon didn't deny that he told people Phillips was interested in young boys." While McMahon filed a defamation lawsuit against Mushnick, the fact that he walked away from it suggests Mushnick was accurate. These new allegations are being closely watched, given that they come alongside another lawsuit involving McMahon, where he faces accusations and from former WWE employee Janelle Grant. Mourning the loss of his stepson, who committed suicide over the weekend, Ric Flair wrote this on X. "I have spent hours wondering what to say. After hearing the news of Sebastian's passing, I can only imagine what Wendy and Paul are going through, having lost a son approximately the same age in 2013. I know the pain of your loss will be with you the rest of your life. I still, every day of my life, think about Reed as you will continue to think about Sebastian. You can't blame yourselves as I blamed myself for making Reed my best friend instead of being a good parent.
parent. Sometimes we get so close to our kids, we forget that they need us in so many different ways. I'm so thankful for the time I had with Sebastian. I have so many great memories and bonding time with him as he grew up. He stood tall by his mother along with the whole family, Sophia, Perez, and Summer, while I was dying. He was so unselfish, sharing his mother with me as I was dying. And also, at the passing of my son Reed, he was multi-talented and, in everybody's eyes, a huge success, and will always be remembered that way. I'm so sorry. Wendy, please stay strong and don't let anything deter you from all your successful endeavors you have in place in the future. God bless you both. Rest in peace, Sebastian. Providing an update on her health, AEW's Maria Kanellis wrote this on X. Back to the hospital. Pain in my neck, spine, and head has gotten substantially worse. I can't stand up straight without pain and nausea. I just wanted to be done with issues, trying to stay positive.
And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.